It's funny. Sometimes the most profound lessons in life come from the quietest, most unexpected corners. Today, we're not diving into some ancient text or a big historical event. Nope. We're going to turn our attention to something you might even have sitting in your home right now, a common houseplant, and the incredible silent sermon it preaches every single day. So, take a look at this plant. It's simple, it's beautiful, and you've probably seen one 1,000 times. But what if I told you that it holds a really deep wisdom about how to get through life's challenges? We're going to explore how this is so much more than just a decoration. It's actually a source of real inspiration. So let's do it. Let's decode this quiet, living sermon that's being preached by this amazing plant, the Kalanchoe. We're going to unpack the lessons that are hidden in its leaves, in its name, and maybe most surprisingly of all, in its relationship with darkness. Okay, so where do we even begin? Well, to really get what this plant is all about, we first have to appreciate this fascinating contradiction that's right at its core. This right here is the Florist Kalanchoe. It originally comes from the dry landscapes of Madagascar. And just like its homeland, it's a total study in contrasts. It really is a paradox, all captured in a tiny little pot. And here's the tension, right? On the one hand, this thing is tough. I mean, it's incredibly hardy and it can survive with barely any water. But on the other hand, it produces these unbelievably delicate, lush, and lavish blooms. And this surprising mix of strength and beauty, well, that's where its story really begins. And that story, it gets even deeper when you just look at what it's called. It's so much more than a label. It's like a key that unlocks its whole purpose. So the name Kalanchoe, it's believed to come from a Chinese phrase. And get this, it means that which falls and grows. And this is a little nod to how some plants in this family can literally grow a whole new plant from just a single part that's fallen off. And right away, you can see the spiritual parallel here, can't you? The name itself is this powerful idea of renewal. It's a living botanical picture of resilience, a reminder that something that's fallen, something that seems broken, can actually find a way to root itself and grow all over again. And it doesn't stop there. The other names just add more layers to the story. Balas Feldiana, that honors the man who shared its beauty with the world, a great lesson in stewardship. And its common name, Flaming Katy, points right to those vibrant, fiery flowers, like a symbol of a living, divine light. Okay, so from the story in its name, let's zoom in a little closer and talk about one of its most obvious features, the language of its leaves. The Kalanchoe is a succulent. You've heard that word before, right? It just means its thick, waxy leaves are designed for one main purpose, to store water. And this isn't just some clever party trick. It's a survival mechanism that lets it get through long, dry seasons when other plants would just give up. This physical trait offers such a profound metaphor. Succulence is, at its heart, a lesson in stored provision. The plant doesn't freak out when things get dry. It just carries what it needs right inside itself. And this idea of storing up resources is such a powerful model for our own lives. Think of it like storing up wisdom, or faith, or good memories. During those inevitable dry spells in life, it's those inner reserves that keep us going. The plant teaches us this kind of quiet confidence, a preparedness without all the anxiety. All right, now for what might be the most powerful metaphor of all. And surprisingly, it's not about the light. It's about the darkness. So, botanically speaking, the Kalanchoe is known as a short-day bloomer. Now, this is a really crucial detail. It means the plant actually needs long, uninterrupted periods of darkness to trigger the whole process of flowering. Less daylight, more night. Isn't that wild? It's so counterintuitive. We always think more sun, more light for things to grow and bloom. So what on earth can we learn from a plant that actually needs the dark? The lesson is simple, but it is so profound. Darkness is not always an adversary. Those quiet or difficult or seemingly unproductive times in our lives, they aren't necessarily setbacks. In fact, for the Kalanchoe, the darkness is the essential preparation for its most radiant, beautiful display. It teaches us that periods of quiet or trial can be the very thing that sets the stage for future growth and real beauty. Okay, finally, let's look at the blooms themselves. Because it's not just that they bloom, but how they bloom that offers our next big lesson. A single, tiny Kalanchoe flower is, for sure, really charming. But the plant hardly ever gives you just one. Instead, it creates these dense clusters of flowers, and that collective display is what becomes truly, absolutely breathtaking. The message is just crystal clear. Community multiplies beauty. Our individual gifts, our individual strengths, they're valuable, of course. But when we bring them together with others, their collective impact is just so much bigger. It's a visual sermon on the power of togetherness. So let's just pull it all together. The Kalanchoe preaches a full sermon, doesn't it? It teaches us to store what we receive for the dry times, to wait patiently through the darkness, knowing it's just preparation, to bloom in the company of others, and to endure, showing our colors for a long, long time. And there's one last little detail about these blooms that's worth pointing out. They don't just show up for a day and then disappear. They last for weeks, sometimes even months. And that offers a final, powerful lesson about endurance. A sustained, faithful presence will always outshine a brief, spectacular flush. So we'll end with this thought. The humble Kalanchoe is kind of inviting us, isn't it? It's asking us to bloom faithfully right where we are, to receive deeply, to endure patiently, and to shine together. And maybe most of all, to trust that even in the quiet, even in the dark, something absolutely beautiful is being prepared.